and go.
Alright, so today we're going to make the German chocolate lava cake, and what I have already done is I have pre-toasted the coconut in the microwave because you want to check it every 30 seconds, and when you're at a show it is kind of hard to have someone in the background checking and stirring coconut every 30 seconds, and it's just something that's really easy that you can do when you get to your hostess's house when you do your setup. And so I've already gone and pre-toasted that. And then when everybody gets here, I usually start by asking everybody what their favorite product is. And then they will go around and everyone says what their favorite product is and why. That's really important too, why that product is their favorite. And then after that, I usually just kind of launch into the demonstration. So what I would do now is I'd say, okay, so we are going to be making the German chocolate lava cake in our small round covered baker. And this is one of our newer items. It's like a mini deep dish covered baker, which is our magic pot. So it's our mini magic pot. And you can make anything in here that you can make in the deep dish covered baker, but you just half the recipe. So it's really good for desserts or for smaller families. And so it is stoneware. It is a part of our glazed collection. And then I would give the basting brush and the oil to someone else. And I would say, if you could just go ahead and oil the inside for me, because I like to get the tools into my guests' hands. And I would ask them to go ahead and oil it. And while they're oiling it, I would talk about how the stoneware is porous and it doesn't burn your food, but you do need to season your stoneware when you first buy it, because that will help it become non-stick. It helps it cook better, it helps it cook faster, and this is a new product for me. I've only used it a few times, so it's very, very light. It will season down over time. And I also talk a little bit about the basting brush right here, about how it is made of silicone and it doesn't have the little hair bristles that all fall off into your food, and everybody always gives me that, oh, I know what you're talking about type of look, because everybody's usually picked all the little hair bristles out of their food, so they usually can relate with that. And I'll usually also put my oil in one of my prep bowls, but my prep bowls are all full tonight. That way they don't overdo the oil in the baker. But usually too, right when we start off, when we're talking about the round covered baker, I just say the round covered baker is a $50 product. It is cheaper than the deep dish covered baker, but you can host a show and get it for half off. So you can get it for $25 instead of paying the full $50. Or if you do like the deep dish covered baker, you can also get that one for half off. You could even get both of them for half off if you really like the deep dish covered bakers, simply by hosting a show and getting your friends together. And then I usually take control of the recipes because I like to guide it and tell people what to do. So I usually have the recipe with me. And then we're going to go ahead and chop the pecans, which I have already measured out, and I talk about our fantastic prep bowls. And you can just go ahead and measure the pecans in the prep bowls because they do have the etched measurements on the side. They come in a set of 6 and they come with lids. They do go in the freezer, in the microwave, in the oven, and in the refrigerator. So I know people that like to make little cakes in here. You can make little baseball cakes or little spider cakes for Halloween. You can make little pumpkin cakes and get your really decorative, creative juices flowing with these. And then, of course, you can do all of your measurements in them. And then it says to use the food chopper to chop your nuts. But one of my favorite products that I actually really like to use, that I've started kind of using in place of the food chopper, depending on what we're chopping, is a manual food processor, because it is a higher dollar item, and almost everybody I have found either knows about or has a food chopper. It's been around for a long time. It's a very popular item, and so I've started going towards the manual food chopper processor, unless it's chocolate chips, because the manual food processor doesn't do chocolate chips that easy. Which then again, if I do bring both of them, I can then tell everybody and I can compare them, and I can tell everyone how it just comes right apart, and you can stick it in the dishwasher It's all nice and easy to clean. And then also how the manual food processor comes apart and how you can serve, like if you're making salsa or guacamole, you can serve it right in the bowl. And how, of course, the manual food processor is a $50 item, but it is so fantastic. And the Pampered Chef is so fantastic that you can just host a show and get it for half off. And for all of you who really do love our Pampered Chef products, the manual food processor is now going to come in the new consultant kit. So you can sign up and you can get over $550 worth of products for only $160, and you'll walk away with some of our most popular items and a selection from all of our different collections. And so we're going to go ahead and I will just chop all of the nuts right here in the manual food processor. And of course I never do this. I always pass it around and let everybody pulse it a few times and pass, and pulse it a few times and pass again. And by the time it gets back to me, it's usually pretty chopped up and pretty fine, and everything looks fine and dandy. So that's that. And of course you can use the food chopper if you want to. And then it says to use the small batter bowl, but a lot of consultants don't have the small batter bowl. We have the classic batter bowl, and I actually don't have a small batter bowl either. I have the stainless steel mixing bowls, which I absolutely love, and this is another high dollar item that if you have them, you can just bring one of them to your show and incorporate that into your show as well. And I stole this from my director. I always say these are our heirloom bowls because these are the bowls that your children will be fighting over when you die. And usually you get some people that are like, oh, well, that's a happy thought. And then everybody laughs at them. And so I always, of course, tell them about all of the measurements on the inside. And my mostest favoriteest thing about the bowls is that it has a thumb hole. So you can actually hold it and scoop and pour, and you're not going like this with your bowls and holding it like this. And of course the stainless steel mixing bowls are $85. They come in a set of 3. They have a wonderful lid. Now you can host a show and get it for half off, or you can get it for free. And so we're going to go ahead and put a bunch of our ingredients in here, the pecans and half of our coconut. Just mix it right in here. That's about half. And then 1 cup of the condensed milk. So I'll just go ahead and take this, which is what the pecans were in, and I'll just go ahead and measure this out. Whoops. Maybe I should have taken the lid off first. And I did go ahead and just open this up ahead of time. If you do have the smooth veg can opener, you can take that with you and incorporate that into your show. That's just another great easy item to go ahead and include. And then of course you can talk about how, oh look, I didn't even have to get a measuring cup out. I just filled this all the way to the top, and voila. And that was 1 cup. And I would also talk about how fantastic our spatulas are, in that they are heat resistant up to 625 degrees so that you can make candy with them, and that the tops never come off because it's one solid piece of construction. And I've actually had people that say they like to spank their children with spatulas because their heads don't come off. And so anything that you can say that gets your guests laughing, I probably actually stole that last one from my director too, because I steal a lot of things from her, which is okay to steal ideas. And so really anything that just gets your guests laughing, gets them feeling more comfortable with you, and of course I would then pass this around and tell everybody to mix it, because I never mix anything by myself. And because it gets more of the products into their hands. And then, so we're going to go ahead and just set this aside. It doesn't need to go in the microwave, so it's fine to use the stainless steel. If you don't have the stainless steel mixing bowls, any kind of bowls that you have, if you have the bamboo bowls, if you have the bamboo fiber bowls, any kind of a mixing bowl that we have that you can bring that's extra in addition to our bachelor bowl, as I call it at my shows, which also raises a few laughs, because this is how men like to cook. They like to stir everything up in their bowl and then they like to pop it in the oven or the microwave. Then they like to eat out of it, and then they like to put the lid on and store it in the refrigerator, and then finish it off the next day, and then just dump it in the dishwasher, and then it's all clean. So you've got your whole meal in just one bowl. And I actually had someone say that that's really gross at my last show. I guess they thought that one dish cooking was not sanitary or something. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and just finish this up real quick. This is actually a very fast recipe. We're going to go ahead and mix the cake mix, which I used in my Measure-All cup, which also comes in the starter kit. So if you're having your eye on some of these great products, almost everything that you see here comes in the starter kit, and we can get you started anytime. And of course, one thing I really like to tell everybody about the Measure-All cup is that it's perfect for any of those foods that are not quite liquids and not quite solids. So for your ketchup, your mustard, your mayonnaise, your whipped cream, anything like that, you can just push down the middle to the measurement that you need, and then just push it out, and you're not sitting there forever with your spatula trying to get every last bit out of your measuring cup. And that's also a pretty popular item. A lot of people have it, a lot of people know about it, so I don't usually spend too much time on it. So we're going to go ahead and, just for demonstration's sake, put the sour cream in there, and we need 1/3 cup of sour cream. So again, I usually have someone else do this, and I have them push it down to 1/3 cup, and go ahead and I would have them put the sour cream in here and mix it in as well. And then that way they get to use it, they get to feel it, they get to see it, and typically they end up buying it. So just push it down in there, and take your spatula, which this is all going to be together in a minute anyway, and scrape it off, and you're done. Alright, so our sour cream. Oh, we need an egg.